Welcome, my friends, to another Firearm Freedom YouTube live stream. It's interesting. I had everything like set up on my camera before we started, and then I started the video and everything looks fuzzy now, and I don't know why. So that's a little interesting. We're going to do the old wiper off real quick. A little better. I guess we'll find out in post, and we'll go from there. Work with my lighting a little bit here, guys. Bear with me. We're going to be talking about a lot. Maybe better? Damn, I don't know. The funny thing is, everyone in the comments after this is going to be like, oh man, he should have had this done ahead of time. He should have fixed all this. And what they don't understand is, I was messing with my cameras for maybe about 30 minutes. Cameras meaning my iPhone, but messing with this setup for about 30 minutes before this live stream. Everything looks good. You tune it in and poof, everything looks like crap for some reason. So working with it. We're going to be talking about this behind here, what's going on with my awesome new gun wall that is backing these videos now, and we're going to talk about other things as well, some gear updates, brace things, everything like that. So it should be pretty good. Why in the hell is it getting so damn bad with the lighting? It's all fuzzy and it's driving me freaking nuts. That seems a little better. Jeez. God. Okay, it's been a minute since our last live stream. I hope everyone has been doing well. Love going to my SOT and seeing all the future SBRs on the wall. Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot in tonight's live stream. We are, going to talk about braces a little bit because a lot has been changing there, as well as we approach December, which is when the DOJ is going to give us our final say in regards to large frame pistols. We're going to talk a little bit about the political swing of things, but to start it off, we're going to go over a few gear items that I just got since my last live stream that you guys haven't seen yet. It has been a minute, and really, you guys know already, but how I run these live streams, if I am just not really feeling like there's much to talk about, I'm not going to force a live stream out. So that's kind of how I've been rolling with everything lately, and that's been working well. If I think that there is something to talk about, I'm going to do a live stream, but I think doing them repetitively and just hoping that, you know, the rambling sessions will work out is just not really ideal for anyone involved. Of course, as always, as we get these videos started, this video in particular is not a sponsored video, so the number one way you can support me, support the channel, and do that through a monetarily way, the live streams are back, is by clicking the first link in the description. It's going to bring you to my Firearm Freedom merchandise store. I got a lot of stuff on there, including these wonderful OG logoed hoodies that are very comfy as it gets incredibly cold here in the northeastern states. And you can check out the other t-shirts that I have there. The designs are pretty awesome. I love them, rep them all the time, and I appreciate you guys wearing them. And also interact with this video. If you comment down below, if you like it, all that stuff. YouTube seems to make these videos continue to show up in your feed, but sometimes not. So it is what it is. As I had mentioned, first we're going to go over some gear items. We got to talk about the wall that's behind me. This camera is really not doing it justice because I film these live streams with an iPhone camera, so you guys will just have to trust me. It looks incredible, and when we get some more talking point videos, this is the new backdrop that I have. This wall is from Hold Up Displays. They didn't ask me to give them a plug in this live. I just really like the wall, and I'm going to talk about it. So they sent me this wall to check out. Insane quality. It's the black multicam setup back there, which you can tell a little bit, and it blends perfectly. The black multicam looks sick on the wall. Not the best camo when it comes to your kit, but when it comes to just looking cool, it's got the vibe to it. And you can see over on this side of me, there is a 6-gun stand-up display, which is really nice because I can have like everything over here. We have a Bergara with a big 4-14 scope on there, so that big glass with the sunshade, and that can fit just fine. And we got a Mossberg 500 that is a 13.7 night vision gun, so there's an EOTech on there with a riser, and again, that's fitting no problem. We got a Romanian kit build from PSA with the dong and fits a Yugo SKS and then a PSA dissipator here on the end. But it immediately, like if you have 6 long guns, it gets them right up and out of the way. Awesome. And then behind me, we have a bunch of different long gun racks here, and these just sit so that you can put pretty much any long gun that you want. We got an Uzi down there, we got an RPK with the drum on there, and again, that fits on the wall no problem. Samson stock Mini 14, we got a Polish Tantal, and then handguns and kit out there on the side. Beyond impressed with the quality of the wall. It's insane, and if you're looking to get things up on display, or if you just have a collection that you want to organize a little bit and you don't want to go the route of the safes, that is a great way to do it. For me, I had this stuff just kind of laying around, and it was really nice to be able to organize them, get them out of my overflow safes, and just kind of get them to where they're not being bumped around on the ground or whatever. And a lot of this stuff I'm currently doing videos on, or I just need to grab it, so it's really nice to have it out and I don't have to go shuffling through the other safes to be able to find these specific items. So really dig it. I ended up putting up a strip of lights up there, and I'm holding a little remote here because it actually works well. With the iPhone, the lighting just doesn't do it justice when I'm trying to get the white light and that stuff. So we got green, lights it up a little bit more. Red, very cool. Very, very cool. On the regular camera, the red's going to look sick. And then we just got standard white light. Looks cool. But the blue for the live stream seems to be working well. And then also, it allows me to display things behind me that are firearms, but I'm not actually handling them in the live stream, so hopefully YouTube won't delete this live stream from existence and cancel my channel. We'll see. We'll see how they're feeling. A few other gear items that are going to be coming on the channel very soon. If I can pick it up without dropping it and breaking it, is the new Vortex Strike Eagle. So we got the new Vortex Strike Eagle 1-8. The interesting thing about this Strike Eagle is that it is first focal plane. So this is going to be the first Strike Eagle that I'm aware of that is first focal plane. A lot of people for LPVOs like second focal plane more, understandably, but in this case, it's first, and I'm interested to give it a shot and see what we think about it. Vortex did not send me this, so it'll be just unbiased opinion, of course, as it always is on the channel. But you guys are going to be seeing this very soon with a very cool GG&G mount, so stay tuned for that. And then also coming up, hopefully next week, is going to be a review of the stop box. It's hard light there. It is a lock box, but it doesn't use any key locking systems. It just uses these buttons here, and it's not electronic. So I have definitely some pros and also cons to this, so stay tuned for that video. That's going to be dropping very soon. Great way to store a handgun and get it away from loved ones in the home that you don't want getting to it, but still have it relatively quick access. So that's also pretty cool. That about handles the gear items for the first part of this live stream. What is coming up next month? Well, we have the new ATF point sheet for large frame pistols. The reason why I don't say braces is because a lot of people are getting confused. Yes, this targets braces compared to every other thing on the point sheet. Braces is kind of at the top, but with that being said, braces is not exactly what they're targeting here. It's just large frame pistols as a whole with all of these other added items on there. The brace is just one of those added items that causes a big issue. What have I been seeing in the gun shop over the past few weeks that may not be the best thing in the world moving forward in December. Well, to start, I've seen Form 1 times dramatically decrease E-Form 1 times over the course of the past 2 weeks, week. We've been getting people now coming in saying that their E-Form 1 has been approved in 6 days. I verified it by looking at their Form 1. That, of course, they showed me we were actually doing an engraving, and that's why I saw it. So it was verified that that was 6 days. Now, my previous Form 1 before that time was the SP5. It was a few weeks ago, and that was 32 days. So going from 32 days to 6 days is a very big jump, and that was also with sending in paper fingerprint cards. The ATF did just okay the ability to use EFTs, or essentially electronic fingerprint files, for your E-Form 1, and we will see if that changes the time even more. But the alarming thing on them dropping the time significantly before December is that that could be an indication. This is all hypothetical. I have not received this information from any source. This is just coming from my own thoughts, that they could be trying to clear everyone out as much as they possibly can for the storm that's coming here in a few months, or at least the storm that they assume is coming in a few months. So that's, again, a little bit of a problem. My guess is that we're going to continue to see times drop over the course of the next few weeks, and then when we hear the determination in December, it may cause times to skyrocket out of control if everyone has the mindset of going and filing a Form 1, which hopefully a lot of people will not, but it all depends what boat everyone is in. I have done a lot of videos at this point on my thoughts on SBRs, my thoughts on should you do it, should you not, and other NFA items and all of that, so I'm really not going to dive into that too much in this live stream. You guys know my thoughts on that. So, you know, there's a lot of different things to consider when it comes to Form 1ing. We still are in this position where legislatively there's really not too much that can be done for this debacle that we're in with the ATF. This is an agency that's consistently rewriting how they once viewed law. Graham, good to see you in the live stream, buddy. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm honored to have you catch a live stream. GB Guns is in the house. Very cool. Greetings to you, my friend. Let me read through everyone's comments here real quick. Wonder if the Tippmann 22LR AR-15 will qualify as a large frame pistol. We will see. You know, God only knows anymore. So yeah, first step there that the ATF is doing is times have been dramatically decreasing for E-Form 1s over the past few days. Now, I did submit a guinea pig. There was one, actually it was a Tippmann M4 Micro Elite 22 pistol from that series of Tippmann ARs, so it's funny that you bring that up. I submitted that 2 days ago on the E-Form 1 system with EFTs as a guinea pig to see if they have dramatically dropped down time with the EFTs. We'll see what that turnaround time is. I'll show you guys here on the channel. And if it is a huge decrease in time, then again, that will be another indicator that they're trying to clear out everything before December. Do I see, this is a question I've been getting a lot over the past few weeks now that we're getting closer to December being next month. Do I see this going through? Do I still see this going through, or will it be stayed? I think it can really go any direction right now. With how the elections went over earlier this month, really a few days ago, I don't see this having any chance at all of getting stayed personally. That's just my personal opinion. That is not to say that it's not going to get stayed. It very well could. The DOJ absolutely could come forward and say, hey, we're actually not going to do this because of X, Y, or Z reason. You got to go back to the drawing board again, and it could get stayed a few more months. But the reality of it is, with where we're heading, with how the ATF is acting, with the approval times on E-Form 1s, I highly doubt that this is going to be stayed. The other thing that everyone has been consistently talking about is a free tax stamp. And that is over a few different leaked documents, if you will, from legal folks out there that are supposedly, I got little dogs fighting upstairs, so if you guys hear strange screeching noises, that's what's going on. It's a live stream. It is what it is. But I promise I'm not torturing people upstairs. So when it comes to the leaked document, the ATF never essentially said that they were going to do free tax stamps. There had been rumbling about that, and really a tax stamp is not free per se, because you're sacrificing a lot by doing the tax stamp. And I don't know that that's going to be the case. There's a lot logistically there that would have to happen on the ATF's end. Now, could they do an amnesty period? Yes, they absolutely could do an amnesty period. Does that mean that it's going to be a free tax stamp? Probably not. I'm not going to say without a doubt no, because of course it could happen. But with how the ATF is, and guys, there's a lot. Here's the biggest thing that I see gun tubers out there in social media not understand. Is the gun tubers that don't work in gun shops and don't follow the ATF as far as logistically in stores and file paperwork with them frequently, is they don't necessarily see the logistics that the ATF cannot even begin to handle now. With a very basic system that they are running that is a horrendously outdated computer system, if the general public saw how horrendous the ATF was logistically to even do their minor job that they have to do right now, I cannot even imagine how that would change if they need to file photographs of the item, if they need to somehow void the payment screen on just certain Form 1s, and how they would void that payment screen on only some, even though the whole website barely even works as it is, let alone trying to do it for certain items. And then on top of that, who's reviewing the photos? Because almost everyone at the ATF NFA branch has no idea about firearms laws. So who's looking at these supposed photos that are going to grant you the free tax stamp? I think it's a little bit of a pipe dream, to be completely honest with you. My guess is what we are going to be looking at, just cold hard facts, next month, is the DOJ signing on this new point sheet. From there, that would go into effect, I believe, in April. So you would have through that time to figure out what to do. That's not to say you have to form one or you have to not form one. That's up to you. That's completely up to you. What I will tell you is that if you are at all looking to form one, for whatever reason, I've done videos talking about why or why not, I'm not going to go into that. For whatever reason you decided I'm going to form one, it would be much better to do that now rather than later. Mark my words. Because if it does go that route, where at late December or whatever, we're finding out that yes, this point sheet is very much going to be a reality, very soon, people, even if it's only a fraction of the amount of people that have braces, are going to flood into the Form 1 system. And as it starts catching more, it's going to spread like wildfire, I'm telling you, because there's a lot of people out there at the day-to-day life that come into a gun shop that have no idea about any of this stuff. And what will begin happening is these people that really don't know about the ATF that much, that really aren't as politically active in the gun community, all they're going to hear are from Joe Schmo and their buddy at the range who says, hey man, you gotta go and do this paperwork at the ATF or that's going to be illegal. And all that is going to consistently happen, and it's just going to spread everywhere, and people are going to be flooding that system. The ATF right now can't handle things. That's how it is. They're never going to be able to handle things. That is never going to be an accurately well-staffed branch of the government. It's just never going to be. So that is the cold, hard facts of what we are facing right this very moment. When it comes to this is going to be, Nick, you're absolutely right. It's going to be like the rush that eForm 4s created. And mind you, eForm 4s right now, we are no longer recommending them at the gun shop that I work at. We will do them. I do not recommend doing an eForm 4. It is not the way to go. I am submitting all of my Form 4s on suppressors and other things via paper at this point moving forward. I already have a few submitted paper that are now in waiting fresh. My guess is that paper Form 4s are going to dramatically drop in time. We're already seeing the ticker start falling down on paper Form 4s. eForm 4s are going through the roof. They're consistently going through the roof. They're consistently getting disapproved at like 7 or 8 months, and the only option is to resubmit. eForm 4s are an absolute nightmare. I would not recommend it in any way, shape, or form. And Silencer Shop is still going to push 90-day approval times, which is not even, guys, it is not even, it is a downright fabrication at this point. It is a complete and total lie to sell you an item, and they should be absolutely ashamed of themselves that they're still pushing 90-day approval times when my eForm 4s are getting returned from customers at the shop that I work at in like over 8 months at this point. So that's the reality of eForm 4s. And that is what just a slight amount of marketing, okay, just a slight amount of, hey, you could get this item in 90 days did. It took what was started at like 80 to 90 days and turned it into 8.5 months over not that much time. Over not that much time. Okay? And that was just a little bit of marketing. That no one had to file an eForm 4. That was just people saying, hey, I could get it in 90 days. I'm going to go out and do this. Imagine when the ATF is saying you must file an eForm 1 or change all of these things and make your gun non-usable if you have this item. Now, there are a lot, actually, GB Guns did a great video on alternatives that you could go down the route of when it comes to your pistol, your large frame pistol, and non-braced options. But let's be honest here. All of that is only going to last so long, okay? And that's the boat that we're consistently in with everything that's going on. This is all going in that route, okay, where just like the brace, this is good for a little amount of time. Might be a few years, might be a few months, who knows, but it's only good for a little bit of time. The biggest problem here is that this process that we're consistently going through is not a legislative process. That this is not a process where there are checks and balances and where people are deciding what is happening with their lives, with their rights. This is a process where a strong arm, big brother branch of the federal government is deciding all of that for you with the stroke of a pen. And that's the where we're going to continue to go. So this is always going to be a problem, and this problem will consistently get worse. That's the absolute cold hard facts about what we see moving forward. And you guys know how I feel when it comes to our current process and how we are fighting that current process and all the issues that I have with that. Because the reality of it is this is not working for us. The way that we are fighting this is not working for us, yet we continue to do it in the exact same way. Here we are in 2022, and we are about to lose a lot, and everyone is kind of sitting there on the sidelines like, oh, geez, what are we going to do? And we're probably going to be faced with that next month. What are we going to do about it? I don't know. I don't know, but I can tell you that the comment periods are probably not the answer, because we are sending comments in to this branch of the government who has broken every law in the book, including has murdered people multiple times. I'm not even just talking about Waco and Ruby Ridge. I'm talking just cold, hard murder people through many years of its existence, okay, and has never had a point in its history, even back when it was doing IRS things and then went into alcohol and other things. There was never a point in the ATF's history where they were supporting the Constitution. It was always a big brother branch of the government. You are telling me that with that history in mind, with this agency that has helped criminal elements funnel firearms into the United States to commit crime and funnel drugs into the United States and help, little hidden hand agencies of the government do those tasks, that they are going to read your comment about why you don't want this to happen. Say it back to yourself a little bit there, and you're going to trust that this agency that's saying, by law, we're going to read every one of those, even if it takes us a long time. We're going to read every single one of those freaking comments, and we might rethink. Well, our constituents might be agitated with us if we do this. If that's it, if that's all we got, we got a big problem. And right now, we don't have much more than that. There's a few lawsuits at play, but the problem is that the government is consistently taking these things that are going on and saying, we're just going to do it anyways. So it really tweaks someone's mind when they start having to think about, what do we do? Okay, let's really think on this. What do you do if the government becomes tyrannical and stops abiding by the current laws that we have in our country? Or better yet, just starts making new laws and making new changes to our current system, to how our government works. Because that's what's been going on for decades, for a very, 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 very long time. And it is not red or blue, my friends, it is just government. That is as a whole what is going on here. It is people wanting to gain power and people that are incredibly corrupt not leaving these positions on both sides of the aisle. And that over the course of years and years and years and years causes the problem that we are at today, where now, instead of them scratching their heads on how to get around this legislative thumb in their butt on trying to figure out okay, we can't do this, we can't do that because this is the legislative Oh, I know, we'll make an agency that abides by no legislative process and we'll allow them to do anything they want to do. And that's exactly what's going on right now. And that's why next month we are going to lose this small fragment of a piece of plastic that kept us at a little bit of a comfortable level there on a firearm, and that's probably going to go away. Well, the reality of it is that situation started when we lost SBRs or when we lost rifles that were shorter than 16 inches back in 1934. It took this long, but that is when this problem started. That's when this problem started. It did not start with a brace. It started with the fact that we needed to have a brace. That one piece of plastic was bad and the other piece of plastic was okay. The fact that the government can tell you if a piece of plastic is legal or not for you to own and will get you landed in federal prison or not is the problem. Not the features of the brace. Let me catch up with your comments here, guys. Don't want to ramble too long. Man, I've been missing these live streams. Glad I caught one and wasn't busy at work. Cody, good to see you, buddy. I may be wrong, but I think assist non-compliance is the only way to slow them down while trying to reverse the ATF. Assist non-compliance. I would need to know exactly what you mean by assist non-compliance to answer. You think Trigicon will make SRO with green reticle in the future? Maybe. They've done green reticles in the past occasionally, so you never know. 1 week approvals a lot lately in the NFA subreddit. Yes, all the times are dropping down, which again is not a good sign. Kyle, this new brace law, what is the possibility that it will be overturned in court? Well, you know, who knows? The problem is that we have a process now where maybe it gets a lawsuit via Bruin, and we fight it in court. What are the chances that it's overturned? I would say relatively low. Why do I say that? Because there's a lot of things that, as I mentioned in one of these past live streams, when every other gun tuber was shouting from the rooftops for clickbait that Bruin is going to save everything and now we never have to worry about a law again in our lives because of Bruin, we have all of these states consistently just saying, fight us in court. And years and years and years and a lot of money later, still nothing happens. So they are essentially saying that, and they're saying, hey, we know that's probably the case. We know that it might be breaking the Supreme Court decision, but you know what? Try us on it. We're going to make it illegal for the time being, and when you fight it, you fight it. And a lot of people go to jail. A lot of people have issues for years and years, and, you know, hopefully it gets fought in the future. As far as this, I think the ATF is going to very delicately craft it in a way that will somehow not fall under the Bruin decision. I don't know how they would do it, but I'm sure they probably will. Because the NFA as a whole is an issue with Bruin. So, yet we still are having issues with that right now. The mustache is looking good. Thank you. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying to change it a little bit. I think they use the comments like a poll to temperature check and taking down names. Probably. You know, they don't even have the logistical manpower to figure that out, but who knows? Maybe they do. Guys, this, you know, everyone, as I've said 1,000 times in these live streams, you need to communicate with other individuals and figure out solutions to the problem that are different from where we are at now. Now, am I saying that donating to an organization, voting, writing your reps, all of these things that we're told all the time here on the internet and other things, is that bad to do? Is it not good to do that? No, of course not. If you want to do that, if you are the person that says, hey, I'm going to do everything that I can, even if I don't know that this really matters, I'm going to do it anyways because I'm going to try, right? And then if it does matter, great. I have nothing against you for saying those things, and I completely understand why, okay? The only thing, in my opinion, that I have to say about why all of those options may occasionally, at some times, have one very small negative consequence, okay? The negative consequence that those things have is hope, okay? I'm not going to go as doomer as I usually do, but this is going to be a little bit of a doomer comment, okay? The negative consequence that those occasionally have is it gives the end person hope that what they just did made a difference. And a lot of people are going to get salty about this, but I only try to say the realities that come into my mind void of any usual gun tuber bullshit here on YouTube live streams. That's why you guys come, and that's what I'm going to say. These things are designed to give the person hope that they have a choice in what they're doing. If you destroy that hope, if there is no more hope, then people start finding solutions that are different from what they are given. And that's their biggest fear. They don't want you to lose hope. They don't want you to get uncomfortable. And they don't want you to lose any sense of choice that you currently have. Because when that happens, en masse, as a whole, things start changing in a very different way. So that's the only negative thing that I believe can potentially come from the illusion of choice that we currently have. If you know that and are still fully understanding that, but you're still going to make those choices, that's one thing entirely. But I think there's a lot of people out there that don't understand that, and I think it's an important thing to know. Take that for what you will. It may be wrong. I'm not saying I know anything, but you guys come here for my honest and unbiased opinion, and that is what I will always give you on the channel. It is what it is. Here. Yes, a literacy problem. Graham, that is a phenomenal comment. Somehow, in the information age, no one understands the meaning of the word infringe. Yes. And, it is very interesting times. We will see what happens in December. We will see how the public reacts in December. We are talking about a group that is in the millions of people that have these braced items. A lot of people have no idea this is going on. We still get people coming into the shop. A lot of YouTubers were talking months ago when this was really kind of getting revved up that we were going to hear about it in December. It's been on the down low for the past few weeks, and the general public, quite frankly, has just forgot. We get a lot of people coming into the shop. They have no clue this is going on, and these are people that were kind of asking questions about it before. Most people still think this is like a legislative process, like it's going through the House and it goes through the Senate and it gets signed into law, and that's just not what's going on. It is not a legislative process, and people don't understand that. They don't understand that there's a timeline. And when I tell them that, like, hey, yeah, there's not really any, like, voting to immediately get out of this situation, they're, like, completely dumbfounded as to, like, what could possibly be the next end result if there's no voting. What could I possibly do? I'm so struck, and I don't even know how to go about my day because voting is not going to immediately solve this problem. So that's the situation that we're in. Got to get going. Long drive ahead. Thanks for the live. Keep it up. America needs more channels. Graham, I really appreciate that, man. Seriously, it's an honor to have you on the live. I appreciate you making it in. So yeah, a lot of people get all pissy because I get, super doomer hardcore on these live streams. I do that because, quite frankly, that's just how I am, and I'm not going to hide that from you guys. But then also, I'm sick of the consistent rhetoric on YouTube. I don't know about you guys. I watch a lot of YouTube myself. I watch a lot of gun channels. I subscribe to a lot of them. And my subscription feed is just the same shit day in and day out that is frustrating to see because it's just telling you to do exactly what their sponsors are telling them to tell you what to do. And they're sponsored by a lot of these agencies that support firearms rights, and I just don't agree with a lot of it. Now you of course could make the argument, and as I know many people probably are going to make in the comment section of, hey Joe, you said voting's not going to immediately change this, but if we vote our representatives in, and our representatives are going to fight for us, and they're going to do that. I think it starts getting to the point that you need to stop thinking of this solution that is sending someone else to fight your battles for you in a situation that was originally designed to be the people going in and fighting for their own rights. Because right now, the people that we are sending in are not people of us. And we continue to want to send in other vet bros that worked for the CIA and really helped do a bunch of really, really horrendous shit throughout their lives, and those are going to be the people that we're going to hold on this magical pedestal to save us. And that is just not that is not working anymore, and it has not worked for a very, very long time. And it sometimes I got to watch what I say because I don't want to really agitate people. I want to be as realistic as possible, but I know that a lot of my views are probably very much against the grain of a lot of communities inside the gun community. Doc, got a few other NFA items already, so based on the other related video on your channel, we'll probably go the SBR route. Do gun shops and FFL help with the process, help eliminate errors, etc.? Doc, I think I got you. Were you in with a Marlin? Because I was going to say something, but I didn't, because I didn't want to come off like a psychopath that you weren't who I thought you were. But if that was you, I'm going to say hi next time. But to answer your question, when it comes to eForm 1 service, the shop that I work at currently, it's up in the air. It's situationally dependent. What a lot of people are going to start running into here with eForm 1s is that there's a lot of moving parts, and the shop becomes somewhat at risk, not like legally at risk, but somewhat at risk if it gets disapproved. And with Form 1s, there's a lot of reasons why it would get disapproved that are very stupid and very clerical, right? So, for instance, there are 4 different names on the lower or on the receiver of a firearm that you want to SBR or SBS or Form 1, right? The drop-down menu on the Form 1 eForm website has 7 names. Only one of them is right. Which one is it? And that happens all the time. So now the shop is doing or helping, assisting in the Form 1, and it gets disapproved for a reason like that. It's the shop's fault now. So there's a lot of ways to do that, and the shop that I'm working at, we're consistently trying to iron out a very good way to help and write some stuff up and other things like that. So I'm sure other shops are going to be doing that as well in the future, and there will be a fee associated with it. What I would tell everyone that's, if you are considering doing a Form 1, make an account on the ATF's website and try to go through the process. Pull up Mr. Guns and Gear, had a great overview video on how to do an eForm 1. Pull up the video on another screen and just follow along. There's like 6 pages to go through. It's pretty cut and dry. And if you run into issues or if you cannot do it at all, then go about trying to get the Form 1 service. It's not quite as crazy of a process as a lot of people might think. There's just a few minor pitfalls. One of those is that at no point in time are you posting a photo of the gun ever on the eForm 1 website. You are never posting a photo. There are a few sections on there when you're adding the firearm. You hit next and it asks for a photo. It looks like it's asking for a photo. It's actually not asking you for a photo. So even though it looks like you really want to put something in there, you just hit finish and it's done. And you put in the item and that's it. The most important thing is the actual name of the item, the actual model name of the item. One that tripped me up, which is an easy mistake. I've been doing Form 1s for a very long time, and I still just didn't even think of it, going on autopilot, and I feel very bad for the individual that I was helping, that I messed this up with. We fixed it. We got it all figured out, but still. It was a Daniel Defense Mark 18. I'm going on autopilot, and I'm looking at Daniel's big Mark 18 there on the side of the receiver. And I click the drop-down menu on autopilot, and boom, Mark 18, MK18, right there. Boom, done, good. File it in, gets disapproved. Why? Many of my eForm 1 frequenters are screaming at me at the screen, no, it's not Mark 18, it's DDM4, which is what's the model on the receiver itself. I know that, and I still made the mistake, even though I've been doing these a ton, because it psychs you out. You're looking at the gun, it says MK18, and then you look at their drop-down menu, and boom, right there, MK18. They do not get those out of the system. People submitted those a while ago or whatever, and the ATF just keeps it there. So that's a big problem, and that's what trips people up a lot. So the most important thing is to look on the receiver exactly what it says. What does it say, right? Does it say DD-M4 on the receiver and there's a DD-M4 in there? Go with that one. My M92, right? There's M92 in the drop-down menu, but does it say M92? I look on the receiver. It doesn't say M92. It says PV space M92, or no, it says PAP M92PV. That's on there. That's on the drop-down menu, and it's exactly how it is on the receiver. That's the one you want to go with. So that's the only other place that it can get you tripped up. Sorry, guys. Getting through everyone's comments. We're going to start wrapping up here. Literally ran into the name issue with my MKE AP5P. There were like 10 different entry options for MKE, several duplicates. Reddit helped me find the ones that were denied. Yes, that will help a lot. Yeah, the Form 1 process is pretty cut and dry. It's literally answering yes or no questions. That is it. So not too much going on there. Love playing spin the wheel with the Form 1 drop-down menu. Yes. Mike, what is up, buddy? The old DDM4 Mark 18. Saw one of those disapprovals today on Reddit. Yeah, it happens all the time, and I'm a total idiot. And I was one of those people like, who would ever make that mistake? And sure enough, as I'm zipping through a Form 1, not thinking about it, it happens. Thank you for the clarification. That was not me with the Marlin. I'm terrible with most tech stuff, so any additional guidance helps. So I'm glad I didn't say hi to the person, because they would be like, what are you talking about? Mike, thank you so much, buddy. I love the wall. It looks great. I'm having a little bit of a hard time in the live with this white light, though. So I apologize in advance for everyone watching this after the fact. I'll get better with this, but I'm not used to having a different colored light source and then having a white light just dominate everything and trying to still show it and show me, and there's a lot going on. So it is what it is. That's about going to wrap up this live stream. I hope, the final point I would like to make is understand that where I'm coming from is trying to make you guys think outside the box. When I'm going hardcore doomer in these live streams, it's not just to say, woe is me, and everything's going to die, and it is what it is. That's it. It is to simply be against the grain of what you generally hear on YouTube and get your minds turning in a direction that maybe the public doesn't normally go in. And that's my hopes. So I hope that it makes sense. I hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from. And if you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know down in the comments. Last question, then I'm going to get going. I'm curious in getting an AR SBR with a full stock and 8.5 inch barrel with vert grip. What would be the best way to obtain build one legally? Well, you would have to, if you wanted to do it by the letter of the law, you would have to get an AR-15 lower receiver, purchase that. You would have to then, you could buy the upper if there were no other pieces on the lower receiver if you wanted to. You would then file a Form 1 in order to get the gun SBR'd and put a stock on it and be able to put a vertical grip. You would go to the ATF eForm website, you would make an account and just simply click Form 1 and follow along with the process. And then once they gave you your approval and you paid $200 to the Crown, you could put a stock on it and you could also put a vertical grip. So that would be how you do it. That's going to wrap this live stream up. Guys, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your Friday night with me. And if anything else crazy happens over the course of the next few weeks, especially as we get into December, I will, of course, do another live stream, chat with you guys, and see you again live. So thank you guys so much for watching. Check out that description. After this live stream finishes uploading, I will post links where you can help support me. As always, stay tuned for more great videos coming soon.